Hello everyone. Today I will discuss the concept of environmentalism of the rich. Environmentalism of the rich in India. Rich in India. Environmentalism of the rich in India refers to a phenomenon where environmental concerns and activism are often driven by the interests and values of the affluent sections of society. Driven by interests, interests and values of the affluent sections of the society. This type of environmentalism focuses on issues like it focuses on the issues like urban urban forests, clean air, wildlife conservation, etc. But it often overlooks the concept of needs and struggles of the marginalized communities and the disadvantaged sections of the society, which are more effective, who are more effectively. Actually, when there is when there is environmental degradation, the people who are mostly affected are marginalized sections, marginalized marginalized sections, women, like women, and disadvantaged, marginalized and disadvantaged sections like poor people, women, children, etc. But what happens is environmentalism of the rich often concentrates on the well-being of the rich, rich and the affluent sections of the society who are not that much affected by the environmental degradation. They prioritize the preservation of nature and biodiversity, ways that benefit wealthier populations without addressing the socio-economic inequalities. This does not address the socio-economic inequalities. Socio-economic inequalities. Inequalities tied to environmental issues. What happens is the root cause is not addressed. The root cause is not addressed. The major cause is not addressed, but the top of the environmental effects, which affects the wealthier populations only, that was only taken into the consideration. For instance, campaigns to protect the trees in cities like Mumbai's Array Forest, or efforts to reduce vehicular emissions in Delhi's air pollution crisis, are often led by affluent middle class groups who have the resources and platforms to advocate for these causes. Environmentalism of the rich is sometimes disconnected from environmental justice. It is disconnected from environmental justice. Environmental justice, such as mm, movements of marginalized communities such as indigenous tribes, rural farmers, and urban poor, who often bear the brunt of environmental degradation, was not taken into consideration. For example, while affluent environmentalists may focus on wildlife conservation in protected areas, tribal communities like those, what happens is environmentalism of the poor is related to their livelihoods, economic well-being, economics, economic well-being, and their land related. What happens is these were sidelined by the affluent sections of the society. Even though, like for example, in the Narmada Valley, the tribal communities like those in the Narmada Valley have fought for decades against displacement caused by the large dams and mining projects. It took nearly several decades for them to get the justice. But what happens in the environmentalism of the rich is they were given more importance comparatively, and their issues are solved on the priority basis rather than sidelining the actual sufferers of the environmental degradation. These communities often see their struggles as their right to life, right to life, land, water, and resources which are critical for their survival, rather than the abstract concerns of about biodiversity. Environmentalism of the rich is abstract construct, abstract concern, abstract concern, unlike environmentalism of the poor. The poor. The whole livelihood of the poor is defined, is under um, is is under threat when it comes to environmental the poor people. But it is just an abstract concept, abstract concern of the rich when it comes to environmentalism of the rich. Thank you. I hope you understand the video.